The Shedeur Sanders hate and the disrespect is getting out of hand. The dude has been doubted and has been in the spotlight his whole entire life, and all he has done is shined. And I think teams are disrespecting him, hoping that he will slide to them. Even when the dude talks, you can see his confidence.
I would say it's a day-by-day process. My most important thing right now is just getting better every day, getting stronger, getting in more shape. So that's the only thing I'm focused on right now, and I'm just ready to get to the team.
Mel Kiper did not hide his opinion about Shedeur on First Take though, calling him the #1 guy, even despite not having some of the tools that scouts want to see.
Okay, so Mel, tell me this. Who do you project will be the better NFL quarterback? Is it Cam or Shedeur?
I'm going to go Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to be steadfast in that. I've had him #1, QB1 all along, really since last year, and love everything about the kid. I mean, if you say, well, he takes too many sacks. Yes, he has to get the ball out a tick faster, but he dealt with NFL conditions. Shannon, Stephen A., we talk about that. Who had to deal with what you're going to deal with in the NFL, what you're going to have to survive in the NFL. He survived hit after hit. How he did it, I don't know. He was 11 of 13 games this year at 70% or higher. He never completed less than 60% of his passes in a game. And in 2023, when he was getting pounded and getting sacked and getting hit time after time, he was at 69% and change with 27 touchdowns, 3 picks, 4 rushing touchdowns. That's 31-3 touchdown interception ratio. So to me, when you look at Shedeur, accuracy, slip and slide in the pocket. Yes, he can get you a 3rd and 8 first down. People say, well, he's going to run the 4.8s. Patrick Mahomes ran 4.8, 4.84. He doesn't have an explosive arm. Neither did Johnny Unitas, Peyton Manning. Okay, we talk about explosive arms. You know, you don't need to have that. Tom Brady, another one, didn't have the explosive arm or explosive legs at 5'2", 440. So you can win in the NFL, win big in the NFL, going about your business like Shedeur Sanders does. And that's why I have a problem with all these people say he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. He's good enough in all areas, and he has the mindset to be great.
I completely agree with Mel. Maybe Shedeur does need to get the ball out a tick faster at the NFL level, but the dude is young, he has so much time to develop, and what he did at Colorado was special. The Buffs had no O-line, not a very good run game, and besides Travis Hunter, there wasn't that many weapons, and opposing defenses basically knew that Colorado was going to be throwing the ball on 90% of plays, and still nobody could stop him. Shedeur did not have the best combine, and I've seen reports of his draft stock falling, but that is just ridiculous, and he is ready to change the culture of a franchise.
That's the plan. If that's not what you're trying to do, don't get me. If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't get me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over, and I've done it over and over and over, so it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick him.
One thing Shedeur has been really good at is hyping himself up to the fan bases of the teams with the top picks in the draft. Because as a Browns fan myself, he made me fall in love with him. There was a clip of him playing Madden where he said this.
Yeah, I can play with anybody though. He can only play with one team.
What team?
Brown.
Okay.
That's the only team.
Okay.
I like how they
getting ready.
I like how they move around, bro.
That's the only team he can play with.
That boy getting ready.
Anybody else, it's trash.
I like how they move around on there.
He also was seen walking around during the combine with a Browns hat clipped onto the back of his backpack. But it has not just been the Browns. He got a picture with Geno Smith, who the Raiders recently just acquired. The dude is a marketer, that is for sure. And that's because he's been in the spotlight his entire life.
Why are you the only kid that hate on? Why are you the only kid in the draft, potential first picks or whatever pick, that they hate on? Why are you the only one?
Cause you prime time.
No, because they want you to slide to their team. It's game.
That's what
It's game. But we know the game. We Sanders, baby.
I feel like a lot of people love to point out the fact that Shedeur never faced real competition in college. He never played at Ohio State or even like a Michigan. But here's the thing. That entire argument is not logical because he did not have the talent around him either. Most of the matchups were even, and you can argue that Colorado had a worse roster for most of the games Shedeur played in. But Sanders just elevated the team to a level where they could be ranked. And that is why I think when he comes to the NFL, he's going to fit in just fine. Obviously, there will be some learning curves. He may even be able to sit for half a season or for a full season to learn, depending on where he starts out. But I think he is going to thrive with having real talent around him at all positions, and he reads the field so well, you can't speed him up or slow him down. He's always going to have his way, and he is one of the very few players that I think does well in the spotlight and just lets all the hate go right over his head. But some people have said he's arrogant out of the combine. The person who said that, of course, wanted to stay anonymous because he is not a real man. He would never say that face to face.
Kimberly, you were there last week. What did you hear about how NFL teams are perceiving Shedeur Sanders?
So I've heard, some people feel like he's arrogant, he's a little too confident. However, most of the feedback I've heard about Shedeur has been positive. And there's one quote from an NFL exec that really stood out to me. He told me, I can see how someone would think Shedeur is arrogant if he or she doesn't take the time to get to know him. He is a thoughtful young man. He's not a BSer. He's not somebody that's going to tell you what you want to hear. He's going to tell you what he thinks, but he's going to think about his answer before he speaks to you. Now, what bothers me about the Shedeur conversation right now is that people seem, now that brash and arrogant are out there and have been assigned to him, now it's like, oh, you see, this guy can't lead a football team. My question is, why does it matter that he's confident when Baker Mayfield planting flags coming out of the draft, he was considered arrogant by some?
That's a great point. As a Browns fan, I also have that Baker connection, and if there ever was a guy who actually was kind of arrogant, it was Baker. It's never a bad thing to play with a chip on your shoulder. It's almost not even a bad thing to be cocky. It's not like Shedeur is going out there saying he's going to be the next Tom Brady. I would rather draft a guy that is confident in himself to a level where he is able to speak out about it publicly over a guy that is reserved. Obviously, being confident like that in front of the media can lead to both positives and negatives, but nonetheless, if you're not going to draft Shedeur, arrogance should not be the reason why, and if it is, you shouldn't have a job in the NFL. Honestly, I just can't wait to see what is next for the next generation of primetime. I hope the Browns take him, but honestly, the Titans could. I think they're going to go QB, and then if the Browns end up going the Abdul Carter route to create the best defensive line in the league, then Shedeur most likely will fall to the Giants, which that could be a match made in heaven because we all know Shedeur loves the bright lights. That's really all I have to say for this video. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what team you would like to see Shedeur Sanders end up in, and let me know if you think he is going to have a successful career. Please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and until next time, I will see you all later.
You said you had some serious business to take care of right here. What's that first? We'll start there.
I'm just thankful for everybody supporting me, watching me. Jack State, Colorado, and my family at home watching.
What has your dad said about this process?
Well, my dad hasn't been here, so I'm a little disappointed in him right now because, he led us all the way to the end, and now, he been slacking a little bit. But up to this point, everything been good. He prepared us in every which way for us to be prepared for this moment, for us to go take on the world by ourselves.